sacrifice your life.
The fuck was that, Ken?
Joey Fats Radio, row 1C1.
I've been loving every second. I'm not rooting for injuries openly, but
I just pretended that was Brian Deegan.
I'm so fucking pumped. I'll be like, yeah, bitch, fuck
I will do that.
I'm gonna find him on LinkedIn and be like, "Did you punch a kid in the face? Tell me the truth."
All right, Sean brought his A game tonight. All right, okay, I like it. I like where this is going. And I don't want to put this as like a thing. Like, he wasn't a bad guy, as far as we know.
Who said he was a bad guy?
I don't know, but I feel like we're painting him in this light that he was like this bad guy, and I don't want to do that. To this day, I hope you hear this. Fuck you. But rules are rules, okay? Stupid rule, but it was a rule. If you were a Crip and you were cooling in the cut, what do the Bloods do? Are they booling in the butt? Yep. Also, we are extremely juvenile, and yeah, whatever. Fuck you. All right.
You fucking smacked me in the ass, you dumb fuck.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Why there's so many fucking NBA news right now?
Well, it's because it's the day, it's 48 hours after the finals, and this is when the NBA offseason peaks. It starts immediately. That's the best part about the NBA, is that you go right from the arguably, was that the least entertaining 7-game series you've ever seen?
Dude, nobody fucking cared.
No one cared. No one cares.
I gotta see the ratings for Game 7. I'm telling you, they're bad.
We're gonna get into the ratings, and we'll get into the NBA Finals tonight. And that's gonna be a big part of it. But the NBA offseason is for certain going to overshadow the finals, because nobody gave a shit about the finals. Not even the fucking players on the court, outside of maybe Tyrese Halliburton and the Indiana Pacers. So nobody in OKC cared, except maybe Alex Caruso. I think he's the only one that gave a shit. But we'll get into that as we go along. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Row 1C1, Joey Fats Radio, live right here on the one, the only, the New Bedford Guide.
Wow.
It is absolutely glorious outside right now. I know a lot of you are hating the fuck out of this weather.
I'm not a fan.
Am not one. I have been in my element all day. My only regret today is that I didn't have more to do outside.
My ass is cooking.
I cut the grass. I did yard work. I was in my element today. I love it. I cannot wait. I love hot weather like this. I'm an asshole like that. I like my winters super cold and snowy, and I like my summers really, really, really unbelievably fucking hot. And muggy and gross and all that shit. I love this shit.
I can't do muggy.
I love it. So this has been a great week for me. Next week, I mean, it's going to cool off for a couple days.
It's supposed to get, what, 70 or 76?
I think like the high on like Friday is like 69 or 70, which
that's manageable for me.
Crazy swing.
To drop 30 degrees in the day and a half.
I know, right? But that's fine. But then it bumps back up starting like Sunday. I mean, you were here on Sunday afternoon. Sunday wasn't even supposed to be that hot.
No, Sunday.
And we were outside on Sunday, and we were like, bro.
I know, it did get a little laboring.
It's hot. Like it was a little bit. It was beating us up a little bit. But I love it. I could play can jam and cornhole and do everything in the underneath the sun. My only regret is I don't have a pool yet, but I'm gonna change that. I think I'm gonna change that. Days like today make me wish I had a pool so bad. And I know that there's more days than not that you're like, oh, we don't even need it. You're never going to need it. But I don't know, man. I feel like the days that you want it and you don't have it outweigh, the gratification outweighs the days that you're like, meh. I'm just going to look at it because at least it'll be nice to look at too, you know?
Right.
Because I'm not going to get one of these, like, I'm not, like, no disrespect, but I'm not getting one of these, like, you know, fucking BJ's inflatable fucking above ground pools just to say, like, basically, I'm not putting a bathtub in my backyard just to say I got one. Fuck that. No
disrespect taken. I have the kids pool. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I have an ice bath. I have a neuropod fucking ice bath thing.
I think you're gonna end up talking me into get one of those because I wanted to do it even in the winter because I think that would help me because I'm always fucking hot.
Oh, dude, today. So I cut the grass today.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was. I think the real field temp when I cut the grass was like 108 at my house.
That makes sense.
And It was like bad, like the wind was blowing, and like when the breeze picked up, and the breeze wasn't even. There was like a puff of breeze, and when the breeze, like the wind wasn't even relief, it was like, oh, it's like in the winter when you go outside and it's so cold, and you're like, why does the air hurt my face?
Yes, the meme.
It was the exact opposite of that today. It was the same thing, but just in the opposite direction. Like the wind was blowing, and I'm like, it felt like somebody was throwing sand in my eyes.
We were so close to breaking the record for Massachusetts. It would have been 50 years exactly.
Yeah, 1975 in August. It was August 2nd, I believe.
107 was the temperature.
107. So Boston
close.
only hit 102 today. But you know the record was set in New Bedford, right? 107.
Was it?
Yeah, it was New Bedford.
Yeah,
had the in one other town that I can't remember, but
pit of hell.
we had the record for 107 degrees.
God damn, and we were on the water too.
I know, which is nuts.
We were
like
inland,
I went, so I got on the highway today. I got on 140.
Yeah,
and off my exit, and I get on 140, and I got sunroof open, windows down, AC blasting, as is customary for me in the summertime.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's plenty of other people that know exactly what I'm talking about and that love the fuck out of doing that because I'm definitely that guy. Don't care. Like, I just love it. I love the wind and the feel. Bro, like the wind coming in my window, it was like somebody was shooting a fucking hairdryer at my face. And I was
that's
like,
the best way to describe it.
I was like, all right, windows up. I'll leave the sunroof open, but windows got to go up.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of hurts.
I was sweating. Never saw sweat stains, though.
Yeah, it was
like instant dry.
It was that like, it was almost like that Nevada heat, you know? That Pahonix heat.
No, because I heard that's like an easier heat than what we got because we got humidity and mugginess along with it.
Did we though? I don't feel like it was that humid.
It felt sweaty out there. It was a lot of people walking around with sweat.
46% up here right now.
Yeah, up here.
Well, I mean, it's also 84 degrees in here right now.
It's probably. What's the temperature outside right now? It has to be still like high 80s.
According to my weather app right now.
Also, shout out to the guys on 140 who are working right now outside and welding guardrails.
Right now outside it's 82, feels like 87.
Jesus Christ. But like imagine like even right now at night welding guardrails. It must be like 125 degrees.
The low temp on Thursday is going to be 59.
What the? This is why people get like sick and have like issues. They're like, oh man, I have all these issues. I wonder why. Because
but then Saturday's
swing.
nice, Sunday's nice.
Is it gonna rain Saturday?
No.
Technically, the streak is still going because it did rain on Saturday night this past weekend. We were asleep.
Oh yeah, it did sprinkle a bit overnight. You're right. Because I remember waking up Sunday morning and being like,
what the fuck? Yeah.
Why is my patio wet?
Yeah, why is everything so
What's
wet?
going on? I was like, my sprinklers don't reach that far, but
the weather said, listen, we're on such a good streak. You don't want to break it now.
Yeah, you can't fuck this up. Come on, man. Like, So, all right, so the streak is alive. We got that going for us, technically. Weather's going to be good next week, though. I mean, I had a tea time booked for 10 a.m. this morning.
Next week, 4th of July.
I woke up 7:30. I went outside to let the dog out, and I was just like, I walked outside, and I was like, bruh. I'm like, listen, I like the heat. I'm not afraid of the heat. I ain't a little bitch, okay? I'm not afraid to go out.
I am a bitch.
And get out and get my fucking hands dirty
Bitch
and get
me
a
up.
little bit of fucking sweat going and get a little gross, all right? I ain't afraid of it. Texted a couple of my buddies, and I was like, I ain't afraid of the heat if you ain't afraid of the heat. Every one of them was like, nah, I'm good. I'm like, all right, well, so I'm not going to the course and getting paired up with a bunch of randos.
Me at 82.
You know.
Gonna take this one off.
Yeah, right? Sean's like 74 degrees. Are you out of your fucking mind, sir? What?
I'm like, better take an off day to hydration.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to sit at home and hydrate. And I did that. So I got up. I cut my grass. I played around outside in the yard a little bit.
Crazy, you even cut your grass today.
And it was fun. It felt great. It was nice. I did go visit a couple of my local watering holes, and 2 for 2 air conditioners down and out.
I'm not surprised.
No AC going in the buildings.
Me and my son passed a car this
brutal.
afternoon that was on flames on the side of the road. He was like, holy crap, did you see that? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, He's like, what happened? And I was like, I have no idea. You're asking the wrong person.
Honestly, little buddy, it happens way more often than you realize.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the heat, but you'll forever think of this now when it gets hot.
Heat,
and
100%.
irrationally believe that it's the heat. Because every time it gets hot like this, like I find myself checking my temp gauges in my car way more often.
Yeah, it's still normal.
Even though it has nothing really to do with anything.
But,
so,
and mentally, you're like, I'm hot. The car must be hot. It has to be even hotter than usual.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't work like that.
like I keep my oil temp gauge because my car is turbo. So
Yep.
I keep my oil temp gauge on my dash at all times because that's one of the biggest indicators of like something going wrong.
Yeah.
And you never want your oil temp to get too
Too
high.
high, of course not.
And I'm like looking at it. I'm like, did it ever get up to 220? Is this normal? And I'm like thinking back, and I'm like, I've only had this car for a year, and I had it in August, like in beginning of August last year. So I've had it for just about a year. I'm like, is this normal? And then I'm like looking it up. I'm like, yeah, that's a normal range. I just wasn't paying attention to it back then. And then I started paying attention to it in the winter, and it was like, like barely would get up above 200. But that's because the air coming in is ice cold.
Yeah.
So now it's different. But anybody who knows when you're dealing with cars and air temp and humidity and everything else, and cold air, more power, more pop, because you have a better air fuel mixture. More cold air is denser, therefore you can fit more air into a smaller air into that same space as you could hot air, humid air. Duh. So anyway,
Makes sense to me.
more air fuel mixture, more power. And, depending on how the car is and what your car is, that could be good, bad, or indifferent. For me, it's relatively indifferent. It's not a very, it's not like I have a high performance car, but it's not like a super high performance machine. Where it's like when you go to I don't know if you've ever been to the drag strip, and you go to Import Wars up at New Hampshire or anything like that.
I've never been.
And you got dudes out there, and they're reading the humidity, they're reading the barometric pressure, they're tuning their car. When you get into drag racing, especially, it gets fucking super technical, dude. Because that the air that you're putting into the motor, it dictates how much fuel you're going to put in there in order to optimize the horsepower that's coming out of the other end. It gets fucking nuts. It's a lot of fun actually. So it's it's a very scientific thing. So people are a bunch of grease monkeys working on their cars and they don't know shit. It's nah, these dudes are actually pretty smart. But anyway, I digress. 774-992-8702 is the phone number if you want to give us a call. This is going to be our last show for a couple of weeks. We're going to take at least the next 2 weeks off.
Until training camp starts ish.
Yeah, next week is 4th of July.
Yep.
Week, so we always take that week off. And then the following week I won't be here on the Tuesday. I'm not available. So
actually, I'm not here in 3 weeks. I'm going away.
Oh.
Shit, I forgot all about that. All right, so it works out perfectly because I'm gone 19th to the 23rd or something like that.
Yeah, so we're going to be off for probably the next 3 weeks.
Okay.
I'll do, if something crazy happens, we might maybe we'll do a Zoom live spot or whatever. If Giannis gets traded to the Lakers, and I need to just get online and gloat.
I can't picture Giannis getting traded right now though. I
can picture him getting traded. I mean, we're going to get into the trades that are already happening. Drew Holiday and Porzingis have already been traded today.
Yep.
As we said, as we alluded to earlier in the show. So we'll get into all that. But unless something crazy out of pocket happens, we're probably going to take the next 3 Tuesdays off. Most of July, which we do every year for those that are new to the show and don't know. I'll be doing some live streaming in the meantime. So if you want to talk to me and you want to talk some sports, you can do it while I'll be doing my live streams. I'll be doing some iRacing. We got IndyCars at Indy coming up. We're gonna try to validate, avenge our losses from May, and validate ourselves at Indianapolis in a couple of weeks. We've got cup races coming up. I'm going to probably live stream Atlanta on Saturday. The NIS, do a couple things there. So anyway, make sure you give our Row 1 Seat 1 Facebook page a follow, at Row 1 Seat 1. Go check that out. Make sure you give that a follow, a like, and a follow. Also, my NASCAR bets will still be going off every single week. NASCAR season doesn't stop, so I don't stop.
I can't wait till I jump in with parlays for the football season. I think I did pretty good.
We're gonna have a lot of fun this year, I think. Because we're gonna do parlay builders And we'll build parlays on Tuesdays, and then we'll put them out on Saturdays. And
I'm so happy I got in on. I did $20 on Mike Vrabel for Coach of the Year because I think that's probably a top 4 possibility of that happening. Now it's like not even worth it. It was like plus 480 or something like that, or something.
I'm going to say right now, Coach of the Year is going to go to Sean Payton.
Well,
because
no, I'm just saying, think about
I'm just saying,
like the possibility.
Oh yeah, no, he's definitely got a great possibility because he's going to take a team that was 4 wins this year, 5 wins.
Yes, I'm probably gonna have like close to 9,
and they're going to be 9 or 10, 11 wins. 10 is my guess.
I said 10-7 as well. That was my guess.
I think 10 for the Patriots is very realistic.
But you make the playoffs, and all of a sudden everyone's like, "Holy shit!"
But if the Broncos unseat Kansas City as the AFC West champs,
I think that's a possibility.
And get to an AFC championship, I think Sean Payton, Coach of the Year, is a shoo-in.
I think that's a good possibility because the Chiefs are getting a little long in the tooth right now. But then I also did Patriots when they were 7.5 over/under, and I was like, hammer the over. And now it's up to 9.5.
I know. I didn't like the odds though. I didn't like the number that came out with that because you couldn't buy it up at the time.
It was 210.
Yeah, plus 210. That's nothing.
I know, but
I got the Broncos at plus 9.5 last year at plus 800.
Yeah, but now it's 9.5 at 120.
That's it. I know.
That's dog shit.
That's nothing. I'm not betting that.
Well,
the return's just not there.
To me, it's just like
it's because they're gonna hit it. In my opinion, they're gonna hit at least 9 wins, very least 9 wins. So 7.5 is a lock to me.
So what do you think about Drake May? Drake May's number right now over is 3,300 yards. Actually, it's 3,375 for yards and 25 touchdowns.
I'm gonna say over. Yeah, I'll take over.
3,375 is not a lot of yards for a starting quarterback.
It is, but it isn't.
Most guys throw for 34, 35.
Yardage has fallen off big time, though. For some guys, yardage has fallen off a lot because
offenses have fallen off a lot of them.
Defenses have caught up a little bit in the last 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and offenses. I feel like, when it used to be, we used to look at it like 30, 10, 30, 38, 3,500.
Yeah.
Was like your 3,500 passing, 30 touchdowns, 10 interceptions.
Not even Mahomes gets that right.
That was your baseline back in like 04, 05.
Yeah.
To have like a pretty good season. Now it's like, maybe there's like, and then I think it was like 08, 09. We had like 10 guys or 11 guys eclipse those numbers.
Oh, it was stupid.
And it got like really ridiculous when they changed all the rules towards the offense and everything leaned offense and offense. Now shit's starting to come back the other way.
Big time.
So defenses are allowed to play a little bit more. They're allowed to do a little bit more. I'm still going to take the over for Drake May on 25 and 33.
33.75. Basically, it's 34.
So 3,400 though. I don't know.
100 yards.
I might go under on the yards, but I think 25 plus touchdowns is, I think, about it. Is it total or just passing?
No, I think it was passing.
Passing?
I don't think it's total. Because total, I think you'd have more than 25 because he tends to run a lot at the goal line.
That's my only. So there's my only hang up with him because I think they might end up in a lot of like. If you end up in a lot of like and one from the one and goal situations.
Yeah.
He could run it because he's a big body dude and he might be able to get it in there. But I still feel like 25 touchdowns should be attainable for him through the air.
I'm going to look up Tannehill's numbers when Vrabel was quarterback. Vrabel was coach.
Well, I'm pretty sure Tannehill threw over 30 a couple of times with Vrabel.
Tannehill fucking lit it up with Vrabel.
He really did. If my memory is not mistaken, and it usually isn't.
Jesus fucking Christ. Tannehill went fucking wild with Vrabel. The first year, he only played 10 games, had 2,700 yards and 22 touchdowns. The next year in 2020, he played the whole 16 games. He had 3,900 yards, and he had 33 touchdowns passing, and he had 7 touchdowns running. That's fucking crazy for Tannehill in 2020.
Fucking 40 touchdowns for Ryan Tannehill is insane.
That's pathetic. And then 17 games, obviously, in 2021. He went 12-5. He threw 3,800 yards, 21 touchdowns passing, and then how many running? 4.
So down year for him. But he had that 1 year where he had 30. I know he had 1 year with 30.
And then 22-23, he didn't play all the games because he was hurt half the time in each of those years.
Mm-hmm. But I think the May Vrabel
Malik Willis
combination is going to be fantastic.
Oh, I can't wait.
If I'm a Patriots fan, I'm actually excited coming into this season because we got something to look forward to.
I do think McDaniels will do wonders with the kid. McDaniels leaves a lot to be desired for me personally as offensive coordinator because I think he's very fucking. I feel like I know every play he's gonna call before he calls it, just by the formation. I'm like, fuck, it's gonna be a halfback toss. Fuck, it's gonna be a pass out to the flat. He's very like, I like these plays for these guys I have, and that's what I'm sticking with.
But that
and
works
I hate
though.
it. Sometimes,
but it works.
but then to come the playoffs, we get smoked, and it's just like, it's the same fucking plays.
Yeah, but the last time, when was the last time you guys got smoked in the playoffs?
2019.
Mac
I'm not even counting the Mac Jones.
Jones
thing.
was your. I mean, yeah, you guys got smoked by Tennessee, but that team was a paper tiger. They had no real talent. They started off 8-0, and everybody knew they were frauds.
They got all the way to the championship game.
And they hit them. No, they lost in the wild card round in 19. They lost to Tennessee in the wild card
I'm
round.
talking about Tennessee got to the AFC Championship game in 2019. The Patriots lost to the Titans. Yes.
I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about.
No, reverse it.
No. You were talking about Josh McDaniels and his offense, and you said you guys got smoked.
Oh yes, that is correct. I was talking about the Titans being like getting all the way that year though.
No,
but yes,
no. I was
you're right.
saying
very, very.
the
here we
2019
go.
Patriots were a paper tiger. That
Yeah,
was not
but
indicative of anything.
even
But even
I
before that,
talked
18,
about it.
17, 16, they were in Super Bowls.
They were like that. 2019, we talked about it on the show. I remember years ago, and I was like, man, we are fading. And I was like, but it's still Brady. They turn on the playoffs. You never know what can happen in New England. And then they came in that night against the Titans, and the Titans knew it. The Titans were like, we're just going to ram it down their throats, force Brady to make bad throws to meh receivers, and that was it. That was the end of the game.
And that's what they did, but that was the blueprint because remember they started off 8-0 and they finished the season 4-4. You know what I mean? They went 8-0 against a bunch of fucking shit bum opponents.
Yep.
And then they got the meat of their schedule starting with I believe Baltimore was like the first real game that they had to play, and I think it was either a Sunday night or a Monday night. It was a late night game. It was definitely a night game. So it was either Sunday or Monday night game, and they got smoked by Baltimore.
Yep.
And it was like, and I remember Zolak being like, "Oh yeah." Because the Ravens were celebrating in the end zone, and they were like dancing and doing their thing, and they were celebrating. Oh yeah, we're gonna remember that. We're gonna remember that. You keep dancing now. We'll remember that in January. We'll remember that. And it's like,
didn't even get there,
bro. You ain't even gonna get there. Shut the fuck up. Like, do you not see the fucking writing on the
That
wall?
was-
You fucking meathead.
That was always Zoe, though. Even Zoe today.
Yeah, he's a fucking blowhard. I can't fucking stand him. But anyway, he just pisses me off. Like he like tried so hard to be Tommy Heinsohn for the Patriots. It's like, dog, shut the fuck up.
Sadly, people are gonna kind of like relate the two. They're gonna be like, he is kind of like the Tommy Heinsohn.
Yeah, just
of
a
the
blind
Patriots.
homer that just roots for the fucking team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Screaming out.
Where's the beef? Unicorns and ponies. Shut the fuck up, bro. Call the goddamn game, dude. Like,
Yeah.
God, Jesus Christ. Like, he's just such a fucking blowhard.
That is.
I get it. That's what he made
Zolak.
he made his career on it. Good for him. Whatever. Fuck you. He's like, sitting there like, oh yeah, well, I'm Scott Zolak. I made millions of dollars doing this. Yeah, good.
being a
Fuck
backup.
you. Whatever, dude. Fuck you. You know what? If I knew I was going to be 6'3", 320 pounds,
No,
and as
he's
strong
taller
as
than that. Isn't he
no. I
6'5"?
mean, if I knew I was going to be as big and strong as I am, guess
Oh.
what? I probably would have taken football more seriously, and I probably would have ended your fucking career in college instead of you getting to the pro. So whatever. Fuck you.
No, he's way older than us.
You know what I meant.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Come on, just,
I'll,
just give me my fucking. Give me my
you
moment,
in
will you?
elementary school. Get on the field, bitch.
Get on the field, you little bitch. I'm about to smoke yes. It's like, what? This kid's 5.
Yeah, he's like, what are you doing?
Like, don't worry, I'm the Lawrence Taylor of my generation.
He's lifting gallons of water over your head. You're like, ooh, yeah.
But anyway, so that's I don't know how we got started on the Patriots, but
No, just talking about
It's-
different
yeah.
things in general.
I like the Patriots on the over under 9.5. I like the over.
yeah.
I'm gonna go right now. I'm gonna go under on the touchdowns and yards for Drake May, because if you look at, let me look up.
I know we're going to get into NBA Finals. For anybody jumping in, that's like, why aren't you talking the NBA Finals yet? We're going to get into it. It was a very boring
Why are we not
finals.
talking the NBA Finals? I don't know. Why are the Oklahoma City Thunder excited that they won the NBA Finals?
Dude, I'm gonna send pictures in so you can put it on the screen. Just pictures. And this isn't of me doing it hours in advance. No, this is as the parade starts. I'll make sure we show the pictures.
Bo Nix had 29 and 12 last year, 37-75.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Bo Nix right now and see what his line is.
And then I'm gonna look at.
dude, Jaden's numbers. They think he's like fucking Michael Jordan or something all of a sudden. Like his numbers are like astronomical. I'm not even gonna bother with that dude.
What do you mean? His numbers were 25 and 9. He was worse than Bo Nix.
No, I'm talking about like.
For this year.
Yeah, people are expecting
Yeah.
like Mahomes 50 touchdowns plus
25
numbers.
and 9, 3,500 yards. So he had 200 less yards than Bo Nix, 4 less touchdowns, and 3 less interceptions. But because the Washington Redskins won 12 games last year, even though he was hurt for 2 of them, 2 of those wins,
Hey,
he somehow ends up winning Rookie of the Year, which don't ask me how that works, but whatever.
I didn't know this was a thing. Sorry. There's on FanDuel, there's a Caitlin Clark bet section. Just Caitlin Clark. It is above WNBA. It just makes me laugh. You can bet just Caitlin Clark.
Above the WNBA.
Yes. There's just tons of Caitlin Clark bets.
The WNBA is hopeless, dude.
Dude, the guys that bet on Angel Reese, they found a way around it.
Good.
They can't say her name.
Yep.
And when they show the game, they have to put a gigantic black square around her. So you see
like Muhammad in South Park?
Yes. So it's a giant black square moving on the screen. He's like, I hope this woman misses it. And they have to like yell that out. And it's just
That's hilarious.
It's great. I'm so glad that they found a workaround.
That's excellent.
Because even the WNBA was trying to shut them down. I was like, that's fucking bullshit. Like, just let the guys be guys. If they're having a great time, it's not their fault that she sucks.
No shit. And the WNBA just can't get out of its own fucking way, dude. Like, they don't know anything about anything, especially when it comes to marketing. And it's just
stupid.
They're just dumb, dude. Like, they've been given a golden goose in Caitlin Clark, and all they continue to do is squander it and be like, you know, like Sophie Cunningham, the smoke show blonde from the Indiana Fever, her teammate.
Yep.
The one that hard fouled that girl in retaliation for Caitlin Clark, which was like
not that hard.
It wasn't a hard foul at all. It was more of like I'm not giving you this free layup. Hold on, let me just bear hug you kind of foul.
Yeah.
But then of course the other team, you know, they gotta act all fucking gangster about it, and they're like, yo, what the fuck, bro? What the fuck? And it's like, yo, why don't you chill the fuck out? But Sophie Cunningham's jersey sales like shot through the roof. She gained like, I want to say like 50,000 followers on Instagram in like less than like 6 hours or something like that.
She's like, so don't act ghetto.
Yeah, like
she's
like, so just show out for Caitlin Clark and people will love you. Okay, but like Caitlin Clark is the gift of she is the ultimate gift to the WNBA to the point like even my dad will put on a WNBA game if he sees it's Indiana. Like. I don't know. I don't think my dad's ever once even. I don't even know if my dad knew the WNBA existed until Caitlin Clark came along.
You know,
it's a lie. He obviously did, but
you might want to be interested in this Bo Nix over/under on yardage and touchdowns. Bo Nix passing touchdowns 24.5, so 25.
Yep, over.
And then Bo Nix passing yards 3,501 yards.
Over.
That doesn't seem like
he
that
went
much.
over both of those last year.
I know.
He was 29 and 37.
And I think you have a better offense this year already.
What's the numbers on it though? What's the payback?
Not great. It's 114.
Yeah, that's why.
Hey,
if I bought it up to 30 and 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, can you buy it up?
Yeah, 4,000 will give you 280. The real money comes in at when you have 4,500 yards. 4,500 yards is plus 1,100.
He ain't hitting 4,500.
That's what the real money is.
No, he's not. He's not Drew Brees.
Offensive player of the year, not MVP. Offensive player of the year.
No, he won't be that.
Plus 15,000.
Yeah, that's why. No, he's not going to be offensive player of the year. I'll have to look at some of the props for Bo Nix, but if I could buy it up like parlay 30 touchdowns and 4,000 yards,
you can.
If that could get me to like plus 2,500,
I'll see if I can do it right now.
I might throw 100 on that. Because I think he's going to go over 30. And I think he's definitely going to go over 4,000. But to go over 4,500, dude, that's a lot. That means we're throwing the ball a lot. And you got to remember Denver's defense, they're not going to be I don't think they're going to be behind very often where they're going to be having to throw the ball a shit ton. So
yeah,
you're going to have to maybe tamper those expectations on the yardage because that defense is going to be locked down, dude. With Hufanga, Greenlaw, and Barron as your 3 additions to that defense that was already number 3 in the league last year.
They won't let you buy it up. They won't let you do 45. Like I even did 4,000 or 4,500 with 30 touchdowns. It says it gives you some of the selections cannot be combined.
Yeah. It was a FanDuel.
Yeah.
That's why. FanDuel sucks for parlays. I don't know why they don't let you do them, but they just don't.
Probably because they're worried about losing.
Well, yeah, that too. They could be that. But there are a lot of sports books out there that'll let you do those. FanDuel, for whatever reason, is not one of them. Like, I know there's a ton of other, I got to start looking at different sports books too, because FanDuel, as much as I like FanDuel, it's ease of use, I'm familiar with it, it's nice. I want to be able to parlay, I want to be able to pick, William Byron, Ross Chastain, Joey Logano, and Denny Hamlin to all finish top 10.
Yeah.
And give me the odds on that. FanDuel won't let you do it. So they have these weird heads up one-on-one things. Nah, I don't really. FanDuel's kind of pissing me off a little bit, but it's still good because they have everything. And they're they were the first one to have NASCAR on it, which is what I wanted to really bet on.
Right.
So that's why I went to it. But I don't know. Well, I might have to start looking into some different sports books, but I'll have to gauge my. I'll have to take the temp of the room a little bit, which is now at
82.
a crisp 85. It's 85.
Wait, we're going up.
Well, we're in here.
Oh.
And the computer's running.
I was like, it went up from 84. It went up 1 degree.
It went up 1 degree since we've been here. So we are 1 degree hotter, sir.
Fuck.
Let's talk some NBA Finals real quick. Because, dude, I was so excited for Game 7. I was all I wanted was the Game 7 NBA Finals. And I wanted it to be fun and mean something. I wanted the finals to fucking mean something again.
Yep.
And when you have Game 7 to decide who is going to win their first championship in franchise history, I mean, this is legacy type shit that we're talking about. We're not talking about the Celtics, tacking up another banner, or the Lakers adding another banner to the rafters, and LeBron becoming Mr. Laker, or Tatum cementing himself as a Celtic god or whatever. No. We're talking about two teams that have never fucking won. Oklahoma and Indiana both had gotten there once before. Almost at this point, almost 20 years ago now for each of them. I mean, Oklahoma got there in what, 20? Well, it was 15 years ago for Oklahoma and 20-something years for Indiana. And neither one of, and I think they were both, what, 5? One was a sweep and one was 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
OKC bowed out in 5 to the Heat, and Indiana got swept by the Lakers. So they weren't even really close competitive series. All I wanted to see was 7 games. I wanted to see drama. I wanted to see the NBA in all of its glory on full display in a Game 7, winner take all. This is it. All the chips in the middle of the table. Here we fucking go. Let's get it. And, of course, Tyrese Halliburton goes down in the first quarter with a torn Achilles.
Of Game 7.
Of Game 7.
And,
Which,
that's
bad hit. Bad hit for the Pacers. Bad hit for Halliburton. Bad hit for the NBA.
The NBA lost 3 players to Achilles injuries this playoffs. What was it?
All wearing double zero.
All wearing zero.
All wearing zero. Tatum, Lillard, and
Damian Lillard and Halliburton. All wearing 0.
Now,
curse.
We've talked about this numerous times on the show, so we'll start with the obvious, which is the Halliburton injury.
Yes.
We've talked about it numerous times on this show. Load management has worked against the modern athlete. Load management has done more harm than good to the modern athlete. Whether it be less padded practices in football, less contact in practices in football, less games, no back-to-backs in the NBA, all this bullshit, right? Mm-hmm. We are now seeing more catastrophic season-ending, year-ending, year-long injuries than we did back in the 80s when guys were, when everybody joked about, these guys are fucking plumbers during the day and they play basketball at night, and they go out and play basketball in a fucking pair of Chuck Taylors, and yet I saw no fucking torn Achilles. Never saw Larry Bird tear an Achilles. Never saw Magic Johnson tear an Achilles. I watched Zeke break his ankle, in an Eastern Conference Finals and still play on one fucking leg and win that series. Like, why are we all of a sudden now seeing more and more of these catastrophic injuries than we did 30 years ago when, like I said, dudes were basically playing in fucking glorified flip-flops? Like,
so is there a conversation that needs to be had, not just for basketball but for all sports, where load management might be a fucking terrible idea?
it is.
Same thing for football. We're telling teams, hey, train less at training camp, do less two-a-days, do less with pads, and you're having guys getting blown out weeks 1, 2, and 3 of the regular season
Every year.
every year.
Every year
and
you got to
it's
hold your fucking
clockwork.
breath through September and just pray to God that one of your key players on your team doesn't go down with some bullshit fucking Achilles injury or a torn calf or a broken or whatever it might be. A torn,
Yeah.
ACLs, MCLs, you can't really those don't really count because those are contact injuries
So
until they're not.
So the argument, and we didn't even discuss that we were going to have this conversation. We just started it right before we started the show of like, hey, we should talk about like injuries today, considering how many injuries we have. But there's a discussion that, yes, the game has changed drastically since the 80s. And I think we'll both be in agreement that the game is faster today. There is a longer season. Because
Is it though? I mean,
I think they're faster today. The guys are faster.
but I remember,
average.
but like the Showtime Lakers and the Celtics, games were routinely running up like into the 130s, 140s.
No. I meant like the physical players are faster.
Well, yeah, but but it's all relative though.
Sure, but I'm saying on the average, like all the players in the NBA and all the players in the NBA today, on average, the average is these guys are speedier and stronger today than they were
Okay,
back
then shouldn't they be more durable?
But that goes against the other argument. Are those guys who, we joke around, we used to see these guys smoke, and in the NFL especially, smoke and then like drink whatever and eat whatever after they leave the games. Are those guys in better shape because they're having a better calorie deficit of like, whatever, I'll eat like shit, I won't be as fast, but I'm not going to be fucking injured as much because I'm eating whatever I want, as opposed to today's athletes who are very fit.
I think what you're saying is, are we putting too much of a premium on maintaining peak athletic performance 365 days a year?
And look, not only is it not good enough, like you can be an NFL athlete, you can be an NBA athlete, baseball athlete, and you can have phenomenal numbers. To even get to that field, you are an immeasurable athlete according to everybody else. Like the odds of you making it are
100%.
incredible. And if you don't look the part, what do people say? Oh, he's fat.
Look at Luka. all people did was talk about how Luka looked like a fucking fat porker out there.
They're like alcoholic.
And they're like, hey, he's a fat alcoholic. And I'm like, yeah, he's also top 5 scorer in the fucking league.
But to
I
be
don't give
fair,
a flying fuck what he looks like.
the GM of the Lakers used that to his advantage. He's like, Luka's an alcoholic, right?
And have you seen how
And
much?
Dallas,
Have you seen how much Luka slimmed down? In the last?
But he yo-yos though.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I don't care.
that's
I
all
don't
guys.
want him to be fucking. You know what? I'd rather you be a fat fucking alcoholic and be available for the 100 games a year that we need you to play.
Look at Joker. No definition.
None.
He's just a big white dude.
He looks like a 7-foot thumb.
Yes, and he's out there. He's like, oh, the goats. It's like, are you a farmer? Like he could be. You
I
have
don't.
no idea.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. But like again, and I think a lot of this comes back to what we talked about in like
Not hurt. Joker.
Joker always available.
Luka, not really that hurt that much. I mean, he has some like nagging things.
He
but
had
never
some
big
up
injuries.
and downs, but never anything big. And not until this year.
Look like shit.
But and it was only
That's
this
the key.
year that he looked like, that he got hurt. But we see this all the time. Like I watched Larry Bird play 82 games a year.
No definition.
Danny Ainge, Kevin McHale.
No definition.
You know what I mean? Like Robert Parrish was probably the best looking athlete on that team. When you looked at the guy and you're like,
Very
that's
defined.
an athlete.
Very defined.
Ripped. You know what I'm saying? Like, and other than that, and these dudes are playing 82 games a year and then playing 3, 4, 5 series. Now, granted, I know the series were 5 games in the first 2 rounds back. Our first round was 5, 5. Then it went 7-7 after that.
Yeah.
But you still had to play a lot, and those guys played a lot into June because they were always good. They were always there. They were always playing deep into the playoffs.
Yep.
I don't remember I remember Larry Bird getting fucked up because he was too cheap to pay somebody to fucking install his mother's driveway, and he did it himself. And he's in traction the night before. The infamous
That's
Larry
badass.
Bird coming out of the tunnel. back out, after the injury and, that whole scene against Indiana and what was it, 1989, 90, whatever it was, 91, I forget.
I think it was 89.
Something like that, but whatever it was in the first round, and they're getting smoked, and was it Chuck the Rifleman Person and Reggie Miller? No, it was Chuck Person.
Yeah.
But it was before Reggie.
I was like, Reggie wasn't there yet.
No, not yet. And, they got Chuck, and the Pacers are killing him. And then here comes Larry Bird out of the tunnel, and bang, and the rest is history.
Yep.
Larry Bird was in traction the night before because he'd blown out his back putting in a driveway because he was too cheap to pay somebody to have his mom's driveway installed. The man was just like, fuck you, I can do this.
The man was just like everybody, like every modern day man today. It's like, of course I could do a driveway and still play. He goes, it's fucking basketball I'm playing tomorrow. It's not anything big deal.
But then you got these guys, that everybody's so hypersensitive and special. Can't play back-to-backs. No, the NBA changes its schedule so teams don't play back-to-back nights as much as they used to. And we're going to spread the schedule out. So now it ranges from October to May instead of fucking November to the end of March, or April. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, cool. So now we have to live through more formality basketball that essentially, for all intents and purposes, means nothing. The regular season means nothing anymore because half these guys aren't playing most of the time anyway. Mm-hmm. And people are like, well, they're doing more work now, because they're scoring 10% more, which means they're doing 10% more work. No, teams are just playing 10% less defense. You can't touch anybody anymore. You can't do anything. The game is way less physical now than it used to be back in the 80s and 90s and even 2000s. You can't even. It's not even comparable. It's almost two different sports at this point. So. Don't give me that bullshit either. The fact of the matter is the modern athlete is we've become so hyper focused on making them so elite 365 days a year, making sure they maintain that this. And again, I feel like it's just.
Good catch.
Thanks. I feel like it's become it's just like bro science. Oh, no, you don't want to play back-to-back. You need more rest, recovery, rest and recovery, rest and recovery. All these people, it's like the same fucking faggots that I see on my fucking, my Facebook fucking reels. And they're like, if you do curls like this, don't do them like this. And the music's like, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, bro, dog, you're curling a 25-pound dumbbell. I don't want to hear shit from you. Your arm is my girl's got bigger arms than you. Why are you giving me advice? I'm professional certified trainer, such and such and such and such, and you look like shit. You are a little soy boy bitch. Why are you giving lifting advice to fucking anybody? My point is that we get these certified professionals.
Yeah.
Which I don't know who the fuck is certifying them and who the professionals that are certifying to anoint these other professionals, but they're not doing them any good.
No.
It's funny how, and Arnold was famous for saying this, right?
Oh, man, I listened to a great Arnold interview, but yes, please.
Arnold's famous.
Today.
One of Arnold's famous quotes. He goes, I don't know what it is. He goes, but the arms on the guys who cheat on the weights, they always seem to be bigger than the form police, and that couldn't be more true. I go to the gym.
You're still doing it.
You're overloading. People don't understand. There's a difference between overloading your body and pushing it to its max, and making it resistant to that level.
Yeah.
So, hypothetically, right? Let's say you condition your body to play 110 games a year by playing 115, 120. Mm-hmm. So that way when you play 110, you're like, oh, this was a break. But if you condition your body to only play 60, 70 games, and then you think, oh, well, I only played 70 games over the course of the regular season, now I should have 40 games left in me.
Overexert.
No, you didn't. You haven't built up that callus. You haven't built up that resistance to it.
Yes.
And I'm not a sports science guy. I know a thing or two about knowing a thing or two. I've done some shit that most people I know can't fucking do.
Yeah.
Cough, bench 500, cough. I don't really throw that out there that much, but fuck you.
Except for right now.
But I'm going to throw it out there because if you think you can do it, you think you're so fucking badass about it, then fucking go be about it.
I'm not doing that.
Until you do, you soy boy little bitch, I don't want to fucking hear your advice. So my point is though, you've got to build your body up, especially football. basketball where you have these long, grueling seasons.
Yes.
And you
especially
have
football.
to build up that callus. You have to build up that ability to resist. And let your body has to be able to have time to understand.
Get hit.
This is what's going to happen.
Yes.
What was the one thing? I trained MMA for like a week one time.
Yep.
Right? And I got punched in the face, and I saw red, and I wanted to murder the fucking kid that hit me in the face.
Yeah.
He hit me right in the nose. You know that square spot? And your nose starts tingling, and your
Yeah,
eyes
your eyes
water.
water immediately.
Immediately, and you're like,
I'm crying.
and I'm like, and I see fucking red. I see red. Like, and if, like, to me, that was like, and I'm like, and the trainer was like, yo, chill. He's like, you've got to, like, dude, that's what the sport's about.
yeah, you got to take
You
hits.
have to be able to get punched in the face and maintain your composure in order to succeed. And I was like, yeah, I don't think this sport's for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to get hit in the face once, and I'm going to go fucking full rage mode, and that guy's probably going to be like, pop, and I'm going to go down in a heap.
Yeah, he's going to be like, parry, and just
Yeah.
punch over his shoulder.
Yeah, and next thing you know, I'm going to be in an ankle lock, and I'll be like, how the fuck did you get down there, you fucking asshole?
How am I in a Kimura?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Like, why is my shoulder that should be on my left side all the way down by my hip? I don't get it.
Talk about John Jones, too, at the end.
Sure.
Fucking retires in the middle of the fucking night.
Unbelievable. We'll get to it.
Sorry.
So the point is you've got to build your body up to resist these things, right?
Yes.
We see Tyrese Halliburton go out there
Horrible.
and get hurt, and we heard about it. You know,
Calf strain.
We heard the dreaded words, calf strain.
But also Tatum.
Calf strain is now the new kiss of death.
Tatum also had a calf strain he played through.
But where were these calf strain? Michael Jordan never had a fucking calf strain. Magic Johnson never had a calf strain. Larry Bird never strained his calves.
I mean,
And
if
not for
they did,
nothing,
they just...
not for nothing, but I'm pretty fucking sure Michael Jordan, his fucking airness, had some fucking hops and was getting up and using those calves to do some pretty crazy fucking shit.
Yes.
Never strained them.
Yes.
Never tore an Achilles.
Steph Curry has never torn Achilles. He shoots more threes than anybody in history.
And
He should be a
he's got
leading
handles. And he's
candidate.
like,
He's not super defined either.
No.
I think a lot of these guys, because Tatum's defined. Actually, Halliburton's not defined. Damian Lillard's defined. I think these guys that want the look and have the aesthetic look as well as playing well,
but I think the
that's a
aesthetic.
problem.
I think the aesthetic look comes as like a byproduct of it.
Yes, but guys,
Because they're
guys,
working
guys,
out constantly.
Guys go for it for marketability.
Maybe, but I don't.
think they
I don't
do.
think anybody's looking at. But no one's looking at basketball players and being like, "Ooh, you know." When I pick up the Sports Illustrated body issue, I'm not looking to see LeBron or Giannis. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking to see. I want to see what Tyron Smith looks like, or Derrick Henry,
Tyronn
or, you know,
Smith.
or I
What
want
a choice.
or I mean, most dominant left tackle for like 3 or 4 years in the league.
Dude,
at one point,
who was the guard for the Dallas Cowboys that benched 1,000?
Larry Allen.
Larry Allen, thank
He
you.
didn't bench 1,000. He benched, I think, 600 and something. He squatted maybe 1,000.
Squatted 1,000. Okay.
Larry Allen and Nate Newton were the two, but Larry Allen was the ultimate. Larry Allen and Reggie White were probably the two strongest men to ever play in the NFL.
Just
Aaron Donald
natural
would
gorillas.
be. Aaron Donald will be like a close third, I think.
Aaron Donald still trains like he's going for the NFL.
Maurice Jones-Drew would be up there as far as like lower body shit. I know Derrick Henry's up there.
While he's playing, yeah, Maurice Jones-Drew now is like fucking 350 pounds.
But MJD back in the day,
Huge ass.
I mean, but dude, even Jalen Hurts, bro, can squat like 700. But I think he's safe squatted 700.
Yeah, doesn't he? He does the Smith machine, but he has like lockouts on it, so he doesn't like blow out his knees and shit.
Yeah, but that's not the same.
But also, Jalen Hurts.
That's basically
his
the
dad.
Smith machine is basically a glorified leg press.
But his dad, come on, his dad was one of those like super asshole dads that I never want to be, and no parent should be.
What, like a Floyd Mayweather dad? Like you're not allowed to climb trees because you're going to be a boxer?
Like no, like
Tiger Woods' dad?
Like you got to get up at 5 a.m. and we're gonna train for like 5 hours straight.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, and that was Jalen Hurts' life.
I love the fact that Jalen Hurts has had success.
But he made it.
He did. But he's
a one-off.
Wicked one-off, dude. Because the parents that do that,
Baby Gronk.
Wasn't Christian Fourier right? Wasn't his like one of his jokes that he always had, or he was like, I'm gonna write a book called Your Kid Sucks.
Oh, probably, yeah.
And
yeah,
he's like, and it was geared towards parents who like hyper train their kids.
There's no point.
Like, dude, your kid has like less than a 1,000% chance of actually making it into the pros.
And you forcing it on your kid?
In any sport, you forcing it is making it way worse.
You forcing it is making those odds even harder because that kid's going to be like, when you're not around, I'm gonna fucking dog this shit so bad because I don't want to do it
If your
anymore.
kid wants it, listen.
They want it.
I always subscribed to the Patrick Kearney school of training.
Okay.
You remember Pat Kearney, defensive end for the Atlanta Falcons, Seattle Seahawks.
Of course, yeah.
He was, perennial 10-sack-a-year guy. One of the best guys that like nobody ever heard of. Really, like he never really, he led the league in sacks. He got up like 17 and a half in like
No,
04
I think
when the
he
Falcons
was-
went on that run.
I think he was unsung, but I think if you knew football, you knew him.
Yeah, you knew who
Kearney,
he was.
Yeah.
But Patrick Kearney was one of those guys that preached playing multiple sports growing up. One of the first people that I heard that was public about it. And he said, if you're a kid, play every sport you can. Play baseball, basketball, football. He goes, the skill set that I have, because he wasn't a big guy. I think he was like 6'3", 265.
Still a big guy.
But not as far as an NFL defense. Like,
Right,
you think
right.
NFL defensive end, you're thinking Julius Peppers. You're thinking Reggie White. You're thinking
you're thinking of these
Aaron
long,
Donald,
lean
Von
monsters.
Miller, like whatever. Like, you know what I'm
Willie
saying?
McGinnis types, just monster among men.
Yeah, like a big motherfucker. Pat Kearney was like 6'2", 6'3", maybe 260.
yeah, undersized.
And he said my biggest skills that I developed over the course of my youth career was by playing lacrosse because it taught me how to flip my hips. And he goes, and I could flip my hips and shoot gaps and get small and get my legs through. He goes, because the most important thing is like, yeah, I could get my shoulders through. He goes, but when they step down, any good offensive lineman knows how to step down and catch your feet. He goes, but I could flip my hips sideways and maintain that side step through the gap. And he goes, that's what got me there 90% of the time.
Yeah.
He goes, my best asset came from playing lacrosse as a kid.
Yeah.
He goes, so every kid should play multiple sports. Every kid should be multiversed. No one should ever take their kid and just say, you're going to be this and we're going to train you to be this. Like playing catch with your kid the other day. I'm like, this kid's got fucking arm talent. 6 years old, dude. He's fucking firing missiles all over my backyard with didn't matter what it was. Tennis ball, wiffle ball. He launched a football on Saturday. You know what I mean?
Well, he loves it, and I'm like, yeah, no, do whatever you want. And like I want him to. Well, he wants to now too, but I'm excited because he wants to play flag football next year.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna be like, he could have done it this year, but we missed the cut, and it's not a big deal. But next year he sees it and he's interested in it because he has a friend that plays it, and he's like, I want to do that. And I'm like, well, what do you want to do? And he's like, running back. And he picked it. That's his interest. And I was like, that's fucking perfect for him. Because my son. I'm being honest.
But let him-
He's undersized.
But let him
let him do
develop.
whatever he
Let him
wants.
develop into what he likes to do.
Absolutely.
And guess what? Along the way, he'll find his niche.
Yeah, if he's like, fuck it, I'm not really that good at this, but I can throw and
Yeah,
I like it.
But he can't throw, and then maybe next thing you know, he's like, you know what's a pretty fun sport? Baseball. You know what doesn't really need a lot of big, like tall, big guys? Shortstops. Those,
Second baseman.
Jose Altuve, pretty fucking good.
Don't touch this shirt.
Yeah. don't rip it open. Don't do it. But like you can be a juggernaut in a sport. It doesn't matter. Like, but your kid's clearly got arm talent.
Yeah, he's
Like from
he's
a
loving
6-year-old sport. Like
He's loving it right
I mean, as a
now.
6-year-old,
Yeah.
I'm watching him throw a ball, and I'm like, bro, this kid can put the ball wherever he wants.
He
You know, what I
does,
mean? He's throwing it like I'm like throwing it right to me, like, and he's like, boom, I'm like, okay.
yeah, and
And he's putting zip on it when he wants to,
He
lofting it when he wants to.
He listens well, which again, that's just his trait. Where if you tell him, "Hey, I think you'd be better doing this," because he already has it in his mind. He's super competitive, and he's just like, "Oh, if I could be better than this kid, then that's already puts me in second place." And he just gradually has to just beat the person in front of him. That's always his mentality. He's like,
that's mostly it though.
we'll leave practice. He's like, I'm not the best hitter, but was I 2 today? And I was like, yeah. I was like, you probably hit the second best on the team today. And he's like, okay. And he always has to be like, all right, I'm not there yet, but he always he knows like where he is on things.
He has somewhat of an awareness of how the system works, of how it works. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like, listen, I wish I knew that because I always thought I had to be the best when I was a kid. And if I wasn't the best at something, I'm like, I don't even want to do it. Like, why am I wasting my time? I'd rather put my time and effort into something I'm going to be the best at.
He's having fun.
So
That's what he likes.
But I'm the same way. You obviously know me.
Yeah.
I am about the most competitive person that you'll ever fucking meet.
It's so great.
And
that's like the best thing. So
he's at least has that awareness of like, okay, wasn't the best, but I have room to grow.
Yeah.
But I'm number 2, so I'm close.
Yeah.
I was just like,
It's
I'm not the
fun.
best. I better be the fucking
I
best.
quit.
Then like especially when it came to paintball. But that was a whole other thing.
I feel like sometimes on games, like I was like that. Like, oh, I'm not the best at this game. Like, I don't like this
dude.
game.
But I remember you like even when your kid was like 2-3 years ago playing like fucking board games with your kid.
Oh God.
And like flipping the fucking board over and being like, fuck it, and like losing, storming off. Like, oh shit.
Yeah, we're working on that. He's better, but he's still a very sore loser. So
show me a good loser.
I know.
I'll show you a loser.
I know. That's like the thing about being a parent, though. It's like it's proud, but then you're like, you can't act like that.
But you can't act like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, losing.
I'm like, you lost. Sorry. Like, who gives a shit? Like, it's between you and your parents.
Understand what's you have to instill to them let them know what matters.
Yeah.
Like, this doesn't matter. Just because you lost, it doesn't matter. This has no effect on anything.
Absolutely.
And as they get older, they'll realize that most things they lose don't have an effect on anything.
Mm-hmm.
However, the things that do have an effect on it, yeah, you're allowed to be mad about it.
Mm-hmm.
But only when it affects you personally. If it's, I used to let the Broncos affect my mood.
Oh, me too.
For 3-4 days at a time. If the Broncos lost on Sunday,
I was pissed.
it would Monday and Tuesday, like, don't even talk to me. Don't even fucking talk to me, dude. I was such in a bitch mood.
I was.
And then Wednesday, I would get to like, okay, we're almost to Thursday. Start feeling better. Thursday, I'm like, all right. And then Friday hits. I'm like, okay, Friday, football Friday. Like, here we go. Like, we're back. Like, Sunday's 2 days away. Like, another game. Let's go. Who we got? And it's like, and that, my mood, but like, they would affect my mood to the point of like, I would be like, my wife wouldn't even call me. She would wait for me to call her.
Yeah, that's so. My wife was
because
too.
she was like, I know you're in a bed. Like, I saw the I checked the Broncos scores. This is when she was
I
away.
already know.
She was away at college, and she was away at college, and I was still living here in college. But she'd be like, yeah, I saw the score of the Broncos game. I knew not to call you.
I know.
And like, it didn't matter. It could have been 40-3, and she'd be like, ugh, definitely don't call him. Or it could have been like 31-30, and she'd be like, ugh, definitely don't call him.
You probably like me. If we got the brakes beat off of us, if it was like a 28-3 type of game and like we got smoked, I wasn't as mad as it was when we lost like 34-20, 27.
I always hated the close losses more.
Because I would be like, if you just made that one fucking play, if there wasn't that fucking happened, it was always
fucking
one
ref, that goddamn flag, that fucking stupid hold.
And like, admit, I tell my I tell my wife, and I was like, I guess I am mature to it. Doesn't affect me like that anymore too.
No, me neither.
But at the same time, I tell her, I'm like, I miss that sometimes.
I definitely miss it.
Because I feel like I was so passionate, and now that I'm less passionate and older, and my passion's on other things, I'm like, man, I remember when I was like so into it, and I would be like on the cusp of every play. I'd be like,
yep,
you can't call this on this down. It would happen. I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yep.
And then now it's just like, whatever. Like if they don't make it, they deserve to lose this game. It's like you rationalize it better.
I swear to God, my uncle Nick, who's the fucking best, used to laugh when he would come over to my house. Like, he'd come over to see my parents, and it'd be a Sunday.
Yeah.
And you know how my house was on Sundays. There'd be 10, 15 of us in my parents' basement because we had the Sunday ticket.
Yep.
And we would come, and somebody would be so pissed off, and my uncle would just laugh at us and be like, man, he's like, you guys don't even fucking get it. He's like, you're going to get to a point where you're going to be like, wow, why did I give a fuck and waste this much energy? And he would always say that, and I'd be like, fuck you. Like, you just don't get it.
Yeah, it's not. That won't be me.
And I'm like, that'll never be me. And now I'm like, now I see it like from where he was, because I'm probably around the age now that he was when I was that age, when I was like, breaking shit and punching holes in walls, because the Broncos lost to the Seahawks on a fucking Sunday night in, 2006. And it's like, why? Why did I get that mad? Like, why was I letting that shit ruin my fucking week?
I know.
And it's like, granted, that particular loss that I just cited definitely cost us the playoffs in 06, but whatever, neither here nor there. I think I was worth getting mad about that one. But there's so many other ones where it's like, bro, the Broncos aren't even good.
I know.
They're not even a good team this year. Why are you getting mad? Like, you guys are an 8-8 team at best.
I'm taking things personally. The other team would be like, man, fucking the safeties of the Patriots are trash. And I'd be like, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
As if I'm on the fucking team in the safeties room.
But to your point, though,
I'm in the back of the hoodie on, just sitting in the meeting.
I definitely miss having that. Like,
Fuck! My wife joined the room.
Damn
Kill,
it.
I'm not saying anything bad about you.
I definitely miss having that like attachment
I know.
to a degree. I don't miss having a patch drywall on Mondays. I definitely don't miss I'm definitely still mad about like some of the shit I broke over the years because I'm like fuck. Like,
I've only broke one wall.
dude, there's one DVD that I broke.
That was an accident.
And it was a paintball DVD that I had. It was a local one, and it was one that I was in. And I shattered the DVD. And I don't know why. It was the closest thing to me. And the Broncos lost the Colts in, I want to say, 06. And 06 was a rough year. So many high expectations coming off an AFC championship, only to be let down. And, well, we were in the AFC championship. You guys went in 06. We came off the AFC championship in 05, lost to the Steelers.
Yes.
And well, we had beat you guys in the divisional round.
No.
In 05, yes, we did. That was Champ Bailey.
Oh, I'm sorry. 05.
Yeah.
05. Okay.
Right. Oh, but I'm saying the 06 season, we had high expectations. Anyway, so we're like, I'm getting through it, and I'm like, I broke a DVD, and I'll never get that DVD back. It's not even on YouTube. You can't even find the video. It's gone forever, lost in the ether.
That sucks.
And I'm like, you're a fucking asshole for that. Like, I look back at like 21-year-old me, and I'm like, dude, you're a fucking douche.
Your internal monologue is talking to you like, what an
Dude,
idiot you
what
are.
an
it's
idiot.
Like, you did this.
Yeah, I'm like 19 years my senior now from when I was there, and I'm like, you're an asshole, you know? But I miss having that connection. Like, I miss the feeling of like that pure joy and euphoria of like the 04 Red Sox winning the World Series or beating the Yankees in the ALCS. Like, I miss like that childish, that young adolescence, like when you think at that point that sports are the only thing that are ever going to matter.
I think we felt sports were way bigger than what they are. It actually feels like less important.
Well, no,
now
I think
as we get older.
I think as we get older, we just realize that like, oh shit, like whether the Broncos or the Patriots win or lose on Sunday,
They ain't paying my mortgage.
I still got to get the fuck up and go to work tomorrow morning. So. I can't really dwell on this too long. Like, I got bigger fish to fry now.
You stop paying a mortgage. You stop paying child care expenses. You stop
And
paying
don't get me
bills.
wrong, I still sit downstairs and scream at the goddamn fucking TV.
Me too.
And trust me, my dog does not do stairs.
Yep.
If the Broncos do so, and I start slamming the bar and yelling at the TV, my dog will figure out stairs like that. And then she will be up on the couch, wrapped around my wife's neck like a fucking mink fucking scarf, shivering crazy because she's terrified of me yelling at the TV. And I'm like, or I could be celebrating too.
Yes.
And she doesn't, but she doesn't know the difference, so it doesn't matter. And it's kind of really cute, but also like it's terrifying because my dog would just be like whoop, right up the stairs, and I'm like, fucking bitch, you can do it. Like every night I have to carry you up these stairs because you're too much of a chicken shit to do them on your own, and yet I start celebrating because the Broncos score a touchdown and right up the stairs.
Not me. I have a 6-year-old. What's his name? That's Adam Sandler's friend with that Rob something.
Schneider?
Rob Schneider. My son is 6-year-old Rob Schneider. Hears me yell, comes downstairs, and he's like, what happened? And I was like, oh, they scored a touchdown. Oh, we suck again. It's like, I know, kid. But like he comes in, checks on the scores. Like sometimes he'll watch.
You forgot smoking lamp.
Last year was the first year.
I'm sorry, it was that expensive piece.
He started partially watching the games with me, and then he'd get like kind of like bored. But he started, and now this year he has some interest in it. So I'm gonna see because now he was telling you he goes my dad thinks the Patriots are gonna be better this year, and you were like talking to him about it, and I was like, wow, he listens. Like,
yeah,
and
he does.
He has a little bit of excitement. Like,
yeah.
and he's like,
and as he should. You know what? At 6 years old, this is a good time to get excited about it because
I want him to have his own team.
That will give him at least 15 to 20 years of being like really excited for sports and like the Patriots. Let him know. Let him be a Patriots fan, dude.
No,
like,
I told him, I was like, be whatever fan, because he asked me. He goes, why does Uncle Joey? Why does he like the Broncos? And I was like, when he was a kid, I'm like, he saw the Broncos. He liked the quarterback was Elway, and I was like, he said that's a really cool team, and that's who he followed, and that's who he stuck with. And he goes, oh, and he was.
You just have to teach him. You can pick whatever team you want,
but just stick with it.
But you have to stick with them. Like my dad always preached that to me. That's just how I became a Broncos fan.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, I think I've told this story on the show before. When I was a kid, it was the Monday night game. It was Chiefs, Broncos. We were at my grandparents' house. I think it was like 94, 93, 94, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I was 7, 8. I was big into NASCAR. I wasn't really big into football yet. And I just, I knew of the Broncos, but I knew of the football because my dad was a big John Elway fan. And my Uncle David, God rest his soul, was a huge Giants fan. And they always talked, and they always loved, both of them always loved John Elway. They always thought John Elway was like the coolest dude and the best quarterback ever and all this shit, right? So I always knew of the Broncos. And then we were at I'll never forget, we were at my grandfather's house, and they asked me, like, oh, who do you want to win? And I'm like, I don't know. And they're like, well, you got to pick a team. You know, you got to have a team. And I'm like, again, 7, 8 years old, whatever it was. I don't know. I'm like, who do I pick? I'm like, do I pick the Patriots? And my uncle's like, no, you don't have to pick the Patriots. My dad at the time was like, you don't have to pick the Patriots. He goes, my dad was a closet Seahawks fan for years. Loved the Seahawks, but he also loved John Elway.
Big Steve Largent fan, I guess.
Yeah, big Steve Largent. Love Steve Largent.
Who the fuck was Steve Largent's quarterback?
Well, my dad because my dad had gone to a game at the old Schaefer Stadium.
Yeah.
And they played the Seahawks, and my dad just thought their uniforms looked super cool, and it was super cold that day,
It was
and they had
silver and light blue.
And he goes, but they had the overcoats that they put on the sidelines because it was so frigid that day.
Yeah.
And my dad said they just looked wicked cool with like the silver coats on and on the sidelines and everything. He's like, I don't know. He's like, I just kind of started partially rooting for the Seahawks, and so he's like, he goes, and back then he's like, you had to have a backup team. Because the Patriots got blacked out 90% of the time.
Yep.
So you couldn't even root for them. So they were like, no, you don't have to worry. You don't have to be a Patriots fan. He goes, but my dad said, but whoever you pick, it doesn't matter who you pick. He goes, but who you pick, you got to stick with them. He goes, the Cowboys, were in the Super Bowl last year. You can't pick the Cowboys and then all of a sudden the Niners go to the Super Bowl and you're a Niners fan.
Yep.
And then whoever goes, you can't just keep picking teams. He goes, you got to pick one. And he goes, but it doesn't have to default to where you live. And my uncle was like, yeah. He's like, I live here. He's like, I was born and raised in Dartmouth. He goes, I'm a Giants fan. He goes, that's who my team is.
But they used to play a lot of Giants games around here.
That's why, because that's who you saw.
Exactly.
So I was like, okay. And then we just so happened to be at my grandparents' house one night. We're watching the Monday night game. Steve Atwater knocks out Christian Okoye, and I was like, that was pretty cool. And my dad and my uncle are both like, wow, they're like, yeah, John Elway, he's the man. Mm-hmm. John Elway's awesome. Oh, I wish the Patriots had a quarterback like John Elway. And God, Jesus, and my uncle being like, yeah, imagine if we had him instead of Jeff Hostetler or whatever, like, all this shit. And I'm like, cool. I'm like,
dude,
those
we
guys
had
are pretty
Plunkett,
cool.
and we fucking got rid of them.
Yeah, and I'm totally digging the orange and blue, and I see Steve Atwater knock out Christian Okoye, and they're like, holy shit, the Nigerian Nightmare. And they're talking all game about Christian Okoye is unstoppable, and Steve Atwater's like, boom. And I was like, that guy's kind of rad. Mm-hmm. And that was it, dude. That's how my fandom was born. Was Steve Atwater knocking out Christian Okoye, and I was like, that's it. And then no one really knew because I wasn't really super into football until probably the beginning of end of elementary school, I'd say 6th grade.
Yep. When
the Broncos won the 13-3 run, the Shannon Sharp called the National Guard year. That's when I started watching football, but I was still such a big NASCAR guy I didn't pay much attention to it.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then 7th grade, they got to the Super Bowl. And they played the Packers. And then that was it. And I was like, this has been my team now. I'm like, oh, look, my team's in the Super Bowl. And my dad's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, you picked the Broncos at Papa's house that night. It's your team. Root for them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sick. And then they went back to back. And 7th and 8th grade, I was king of the school because my team won the Super Bowl. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude, this is great. And it was a long fucking drought thereafter because Elway retired, Terrell Davis gets hurt, blah, 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 blah. But I always stuck with him. But that's the same thing with your kid. You just teach him, listen, man, you can pick whoever you want, but you have to stick with them. You can't just pick a team because they're flashy and cool now.
You gotta,
and then jump ship when you can't be a Yankees fan all through the '90s, and then all of a sudden the Red Sox get good, and you're like, nah, I'm a diehard Sox fan, bro.
I know, we know people
way
like that.
Too many, way too many.
Well, how many people around here that really pissed me off years ago when Brady left and he went to the Bucks, and all the Bucks jerseys I would see around here, and I'm like, dude, kiss my ass.
I know one Bucks fan,
and people.
One.
I don't know any.
Two. I'm sorry, two.
I know 0.0. And I remember seeing people, and they were just like, oh, I only root for Brady. And I'm like, don't be a fucking, LeBron person, okay? Don't just, hop around to whatever team he's on, and that's your favorite team. I'm like, don't do that. That's stupid. I'm like, just pick a team and like the team. Like I don't.
It's
I don't
kind of
believe-
lame, but I get it because I saw a lot of it with Peyton too.
I love Tom Brady. I'm not fucking owning a Tampa Bay jersey. I don't consider Brady to have 7 rings.
See,
He has 6 rings.
I had a
with me.
Peyton Manning Colts jersey when Peyton Manning played for the Colts.
No, but that wasn't your team. Like you liked Manning. It just so happened that Manning joined your favorite team.
Correct.
And you're like, this works out. That's like me. Like my first non-Patriots jersey was Brian Urlacher. I fucking loved Brian Urlacher. I hope we drafted him. That was the year we ended up getting Richard Seymour, which I don't fucking
Can't regret that.
But like I
Arguably the best 3-4 defensive end ever.
right, and like one of the greatest, especially in the Patriots history. But I remember being like, I don't care where Urlacher gets drafted, I am buying that jersey. And I bought that jersey and wore it, and everyone's like, oh, you a Bears fan? And I'm like, no, I love Urlacher. I would have loved it if he was on the Patriots even more, but I was like, I'm just a big Urlacher fan. He ended up being a Hall of Fame linebacker, and he was just a monster of an athlete, and I just had a badass name, and I was like, that's just what I liked.
I was never an Urlacher guy, and it's only
Always loved Urlacher.
because he played for Chicago. If he played for anybody else, I have this like
I didn't care. Chicago was meaningless to me.
I have this unfathomable hate for the Chicago Bears, and it's somewhat irrational because they've never really done anything to me.
That is irrational. They've been garbage since '86.
But that's I think why I hate them.
Even when they had Rex Grossman, they weren't serious.
Because
Even with the
I
Super Bowl, they suck.
but because I hate them because I feel like people talk about them like they're like this fucking. Like the Cleveland like the Cleveland Browns.
But same thing with the Cubs. Remember they talked about the Chicago Cubs forever.
Yeah, but the Cubs were in the same same sentence as like the Red Sox.
But nobody even talks about the Cubs anymore.
But they weren't right. Well, kind of the same way
won.
nobody talks about the Red Sox anymore.
Well, the Red Sox they talk about them, but they talk about them
For
bad.
all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
But like we had, I've had this hate. This I don't want to say it's irrational. But I don't know where it came from, so I can't put my finger on it. But I have had a hate for the Chicago Bears for a very, very long time. Pretty much since
That's so weird
as
to
long
me.
as I can remember. And I think it was because I got sick and tired of everybody telling me, like, what a great, storied franchise they were. And I'm like, yeah, but they suck.
Oh, they're so beautiful.
Oh, my God. Yeah, they're the Chicago, like, oh, all this fucking steeped in history and Soldier Field and blah 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 and the '85 Bears and Buddy Ryan, and I'm like, I don't fucking care.
I get
I don't care. I'm like,
I get it.
they just pissed me off. Like, and now to this day, like when they everybody talks about the Chicago Bears, I'm like, yeah, but they suck. And they're like, yeah, but it's Chicago Green Bay tonight on Sunday Night Football. I'm like, cool, man. Like you couldn't have asked for a worse game. Like, Green Bay's going to dunk on them by 40. What are we even doing?
Right.
Like, why was this even – I get it. It's a division rivalry, and the NFL wants this and blah, 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 blah. But, like, why are we doing this again? Chicago sucks. I fucking hate the Bears. I hate everything about them. I hate everybody who plays for them, and then until they come or go.
I hate the Bears now.
The only person I think I've ever liked that played for the Bears was Devin Hester. And Jay Cutler. And Brandon Marshall.
All right, you're naming quite a few guys now.
That's
no,
3. I named 3.
No, I'm a big Urlacher fan. I never really cared for any of the quarterbacks.
Thomas Briggs was cool.
Briggs was short.
Tank Johnson was pretty cool, too.
William the Refrigerator Perry, if you're going to go way back.
Oh, I mean, if you go way back, like, yeah, I like the fridge and I like sweetness, but other than and actually I really like Jim McMahon. But
Jim McMahon, dickhead.
Yeah, but he was cool.
But he acts the same way today.
I know.
As he did
He's
back in the 80s.
He's like, I'm still 1985 cool ass Super Bowl winning Jim McMahon, and you're not.
He's like, hey everybody, it's Jim McMahon.
I don't know. Jim McMahon, I was kind of like, but I hate the Bears team, their franchise. I don't hate their players, so to speak, because players come and go. But I don't know. I just something about the Bears that I can't fucking. Same thing with this with baseball, with the San Francisco Giants. Love Barry Bonds. I hate the Giants. I have this fucking irrational hate for the Giants.
I never liked the Giants.
Can't stand them, dude. They just every time I wanted something good to happen, I feel like they came in and fucked it up somehow.
I rooted so hard for Jeff Kent and Barry Bonds to fuck each other up in the dugout, because every time I would see news about the Giants, it was like those two were like at each other's throats, and I was like, I just want to see Jeff Kent or Barry Bonds just beat the shit out of each other.
You know who right, you always want to see it, like you want to see like something crazy happen.
Implode, yeah.
Yeah, and implode. But like to whatever whoever in the chat said Skull. I've always been a closet Vikings fan. I love the Vikes.
Nah, not me.
Love John Randall, one of my all-time favorite players. Robert Smith of the Cure, loved him. Randy Moss, Chris Carter.
Robert Smith of the Cure. People are going to get confused. They're going to be like, was that the same guy?
Yeah, maybe it was. He was so multi-talented. I loved
Or the
those
rumor.
Dennis
They're
Green.
like, gay.
That Dennis Green 98 Vikings team,
Poor Dennis Green, R.I.P.
RIP in peace, was one of the greatest fucking things to ever happen to football. And even now, I love the whole skull thing, the Viking thing. They got fucking Thor out there blowing the fucking horn and shit like that. I love everything about the Vikings and that whole aura and that shit they've built. And even though
who's the
Vikings,
quarterback? Is it McCarthy right now? Is that going to be the starter?
It's JJ. Even though the Vikings have never won a Super Bowl, I still feel like they are a better franchise than the Chicago Bears.
I would say Chicago Bears have won just one.
The Chicago Bears are fucking ass. They're ass. And I feel like we need to collectively, as a sports fan base, start treating the Bears, the Browns, the Bengals, the Cardinals, the Jaguars, and I'll throw in
I'm going to say the Jets.
The Jets. As you guys are ass. Those are 6 teams. There's 32 teams in the league. Only 26 of them actually matter.
You see the Jets owner, Woody Johnson, he's another dickhead move he did this weekend.
No, what did he do? What did he do now?
He bought 48% of a European soccer team.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he went out and donated $2 million to Iranian uranium enrichment programs or something.
He probably sent them baby oil.
I mean, maybe.
He's like, oh, Johnson & Johnson baby oil for Iran.
Yeah.
Sends it over there. He's fucking tone deaf.
He is clueless.
I feel bad for diehard Jets fans, even though I can't stand the Jets.
Because at this point, what are you doing?
No, no. But
and first of all, how did you become a diehard Jets fan?
They're from Jersey.
The Jets haven't been good since Joe Namath. Why did you become a Jets fan?
They've always been a stepson.
And how?
And it's not even their own stadium. They've always been a stepson.
Yeah. How you become a Jets fan is one of two ways: poor parenting. Or poor parenting.
Your father beat the shit out of you as a Giants fan. I'm going to be the fucking opposite of you, dude.
Yeah. I'm going to show your ass.
Jets.
You sure about that? You sure about that? No, fuck that shit, dude. Jets fans, I don't feel bad for them. Bears fans, I don't feel bad for them.
I do feel bad for Bears fans.
I definitely don't feel bad for Browns fans because they're just doing it at this point to Browns fans are doing it they're just doing it.
I think they're trolling.
Because they're trying to be they want to be like the Red Sox and the Cubs, where they're when the curse is finally lifted and we finally win, which will never happen because the Browns are total ass. They want to be I never left. But at this point, you're right. They're just trolling.
Dude,
you can't possibly be a Browns fan in today's day and age.
We put it on this show.
A realistic fan. It's just not possible.
We put it on this show. Browns fans, the Barstool-ish Browns fans out there that go to the games and sell T-shirts in the parking lot. When they got Deshaun Watson, they were like, rape is okay with us, check mark.
Yeah.
It was on a T-shirt. And then they had a picture of Bill Cosby on Deshaun Watson's jersey. And they were selling that in the parking lot. They don't care. They're it's all a meme to them. They're
exactly.
Just
it's because nothing's real.
They have 7 quarterbacks right now. They don't care.
They don't have a football team to root for, so they just have to root for bullshit.
Shador just got busted doing 105 miles an hour, but they're like, oh, but he was polite. What a great young man. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, if you just caught doing 105.
Pretty sure I did 130 this week. So.
But dude, 105
on a highway, on an empty highway. I'm not gonna say where.
But it's still, to me, that's just
fuck you, coppers! You'll never catch me.
But he's
until I get pulled over and they're like, oh,
he's an athlete, and he's just like, hello, officers. It's
hello, officers. A good day to you. It's why is he British?
I don't get it.
And I only did that because I was practicing my car. I was just seeing my car felt funny, and I was like, I wonder if there's something wrong with it.
Gas it all the way.
So, I put it in sport mode because of the paddles, and I put it in fourth. And I was doing 80, and then I just ran through the gears until I got to about 120, 125.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Maybe 130, just to see how fast I could do it. And I was looking for skips. I was looking for anything that didn't click or misfired, and there was nothing. Car was good. Car is good. Happy to report the car's fine. And no squirrels and or anything. Yeah, no shit, right? Tark's right. Yeah, you're doing 130, just don't stop at that point. Just run. You're going to jail one way or another, so may as well make it worth it. But no, I was smart. I didn't get. I think I was actually on my way home from work. It's in uniform.
Stupid.
Anyway, never mind. Neither here nor there. But no, but the Browns fans are fucking assholes. Speaking of the Browns, and this is what, again, we always talk about the Browns and shit ass ownership. Chicago Bears, shit ownership. Jets, shit owners. Jags, shit owners. Arizona, not so much shit owners, but just clueless owners.
I don't think they care about sports.
I don't think so either. I really don't.
They're like, we gave all this money to Kyler Murray. He's good, right? And everyone, NFL fan bases in general, are just like, nah, we're going to pass on that, dude.
Kyler Murray does give your kid hope for playing in the NFL, you know?
Kyler Murray, I think, to me, picked the wrong sport, but he's proven that wrong, too. Because he would have made a fortune in baseball.
100, oh, yeah.
Because he was a second baseman.
He made a fortune in the NFL.
Yes, he did.
But he also went to a team that was quarterback starved and doesn't know their ass from their elbow. You know who does have good ownership? My Denver Broncos. Did you see the report that came out today?
Who do they sell themselves to?
The Penner Walton Group, the Walmart people.
Oh.
So,
well, Lakers got sold too.
Lakers are getting sold to the Dodgers,
which fucking is weird.
Which is whatever. I don't care. Just put more banners in the fucking rafters. That's all I give a shit about.
Well, no, I mean, that's great news for you because they don't care about money. They just like spend whatever.
Right. Spend more. Spend more.
Yeah.
Now spend it on the Lakers. Good. You guys spend money. You got the Dodgers. Good. Now go get fucking 5 more banners for the Lakers, so I never have to hear about the fucking Celtics ever again. But my point I was getting at, did you see what Russell Wilson asked for from the Broncos' new ownership when he got traded to the Broncos when they were talking about contract extensions?
What, lifetime supply of Walmart?
He wanted 7 years, $350 million, fully guaranteed. And Greg Penner stepped in and said, we got 2 years to figure this out, right? And George Patton was like, we do. And he's like, let's take the 2 years and figure this out. So they gave him like a mediocre extension, like something to meet in the middle, but basically forced Russell Wilson to come off of that. Could you imagine if Joe Ellis had still been in charge of the Broncos and we had given Russell Wilson 7 years, $350 million fully guaranteed?
Yeah, you'd probably be porked. I'm not going to lie to you.
I'd be like, cool, I'm not watching football for the next decade. Great. Awesome. Got nothing to worry about. Thank fucking God for competent owners. Because Greg Penner and George Patton, who's the GM, Greg Penner, the owner, and George Patton, the GM, said, let's tamp that down. And got him to back off, and which is why they only had to pay him $80 million to fuck off instead of $350 million to fuck off.
How much are the Browns fully guaranteeing to Deshaun Watson?
280? 80, I think? 60?
And they don't even talk about him as an option of the 7 quarterbacks they have.
No. He's not an option. He's not an NFL quarterback.
Did he bang another porn star recently or something like that?
Dude, can we talk about banging porn stars and like why that's a bad thing?
Wait.
So
who said it was bad?
Boom, boom. Total switching gears here.
Well, clearly.
Allegedly, Carson Hocevar, NASCAR rookie.
Okay.
21, 22-year-old kid.
Okay.
Dorky looking dude. Not exactly like, not the most handsome motherfucker, but not ugly. But looks like, he'd do fine. I'm not here to judge looks, but like, he's not Kimi Antonelli good looking. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Kimi Antonelli is the Mercedes rookie in Formula One.
I'm assuming very handsome.
Very pretty little guy. Very pretty boy.
The name says it.
Carson Hocevar is more of a fucking
Southern boy.
Yeah, like,
Sounds
South Carolina, punch you in the face. I like 4-wheelers and shit.
Let's go hang out with Cumberland Farms.
Carson Hocevar looks more like one of us.
Okay.
Then Kimi Antonelli looks more like a 5'7" Brad Pitt. Okay. So Carson Hocevar allegedly, when they went to Mexico City a couple weeks ago, was spotted with an adult film star
from Mexico
checking into his hotel. No, that he brought with him.
Oh, okay. I was like, a Mexican adult film star?
Listen, I'm just going to throw it out there, bro.
Who
if
cares?
I was
He's
a
21.
21-year-old athlete in my rookie year, why the fuck? I would be hitting up, I'd be sliding into every one of my favorite porn stars' DMs.
Jimmy Garoppolo did it.
I know. Like, why wouldn't you?
It's your time.
Could you imagine, like Gronk did it with BB Jones? Like,
I forgot about Gronk.
BB Jones was not for nothing, bro. BB Jones was pretty bad.
She looks still good today.
Still looks good. Still would. Just saying. I have no issue, or I'll never understand why.
Is he getting shit for it? Is that why?
Yeah. Like, they're like, it's
That's
a bad look.
No, it's
You
not.
shouldn't be doing that. I'm like, why is that a bad look?
Why?
Because a 21-year-old kid is out there banging the chick that 3 years ago he was probably jerking off to on OnlyFans or RedTube.
Wild.
Like, what a come up.
How is
What a come up. Pun intended.
Pun intended. Well, how is that different from someone going out with an OnlyFans model right now?
It's not, because
Same thing.
OnlyFans, well, because, the feminists in the, they'll say, well, it's women empowerment in the get-go. And you're like, well, yeah, but you're still just basically a prostitute. You're just,
Which I
have no problem with.
No, I have
It's
no
the world's
problem.
oldest profession.
You do whatever the fuck you want, but there is
Just don't come crying to me when you're 40 with 2 kids and no husband. And you're like, I want a good man.
the biggest thing is that they said that the female suicide rate from like porn stars and content creators, whatever you want to call them, is like skyrocketed.
100%.
It's gone up like 4,000%.
Yeah, it's a very dangerous thing you're getting into.
because you're just shamed of that for the rest of your life.
And you're short-sighted. Like, look at Riley Reid and all the shit she's got. And her now husband has
didn't
got.
she ask for her stuff to be deleted?
No, that was
was fake?
She
Okay.
said what she said during the interview. I actually read the transcript of it.
I didn't read
She
it.
said, if I could go back and take it all away, I would. She basically regretted doing it all. She did
would
never.
she, though?
She never. She said if I could take, she said a lot of the stuff I would take down. She goes, She said if I was given the option right now to remove everything I ever did from the internet, I would.
But is she keeping where she is in life right
Yes.
now too? Can't
She was like,
fucking
but
do that.
yeah, she was like, but if a genie came out of a bottle and was like, "What's your one wish?" She goes, "I wish all my content would disappear forever, because that's a past chapter of my life, and I'd rather not ever have it relived again."
Okay, is it gone forever? No one can watch it, or gone forever and people have already seen it, kind of thing. And
yeah, gone forever. We've already seen it, but it's gone forever. You can't go back and watch.
Okay.
She's like, I want to just move in. She's like, she has a husband now and a kid.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for the husband. Not really, because he married a porn star. He had to know this was coming. But
knows.
like, he gets constant DMs and be like, "Yo, you married that bitch? That pussy was trash when I had it."
I feel bad for the kids.
The kids are
Those kids are gonna get destroyed growing up.
If I found out in high school that some dude I didn't like, his mom had an OnlyFans, I'd be like, "Yo, what's up, I'm just throwing this name out there. There's no real actual
Jared.
contact. Jesse. I was gonna say Jesse
okay.
because I don't really know any Jessies. I'd be like, "Yo, what's up, Jesse? I just beat my meat to your mom before I came in this morning. What's up? Can you give her my number? Like, can I do a collab with her? You know what I mean? Like, I would be all over, or like, God, even worse, like somebody's sister. Like, could you imagine how fucking like do you remember like what it was like in high school when like your buddy had a hot sister, or your friend, like one of your friends had a hot sister? How fucking like easy it was to get under their skin? Like, dude.
You know what? You know what the fucked up part is? I immediately think back of like Jenna Jameson, like the most like well-recognized porn star.
Yeah.
She has 3 kids. The 3 kids want nothing to do with her, and they live with her now ex. Tito Ortiz used to be a former UFC fighter. All 3 of her kids live with him, and they want nothing to do with their mom.
That sucks.
That's terrible.
Because like I love my
kids,
mom.
Her kids are 14 and 9. She has twins, so 2 of them are 14. I think one is 9, or maybe one is 14 and the other 2 are 9. But still, at 9 years old, your kids want nothing to do with you.
Yeah, that's brutal. Because they're getting just old enough. Maybe are they getting just old? But then again, though, at 9 years old, how are you even old enough to understand? Like at 9, I don't think I was really that into porn.
Dude,
Yet.
I think kids.
Let's see, 19.
I think kids' parents know.
Let's see, 19. I was 9 in 1994. We definitely had a black box at that point, so I definitely had the Spice Channel, so I definitely knew what it was. But I wasn't like, I wasn't beating my meat back then.
No.
Like I wasn't there yet.
Pretty sure we're gonna take it off the air. We're just fucking.
I mean, well, it's just. Listen,
I know.
If they listen, I listen to all these fucking harlots and shit on Call Me Daddy talk about their fucking sexual exploits, and they're like, "Oh, what's the one regret you have?" It's like, "Oh, I banged my boyfriend's son."
Tom, you can't just fucking say that and then not say anything. Tom in the chat says, I have a legend Jenna Jameson story from Cleveland one weekend. First of all, you can't just throw that out there and then just not talk.
I will get the story from Tark.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't put it out there.
Yeah, I will
but
get
you
it.
Can't, you can't just be like, I have a story. And
I
then
mean,
just be like,
I went to what was it, Desires in Providence one night, and Jenna Hayes was there.
what the fuck?
And I literally almost texted my wife. She was my girlfriend at the time. And I was like, almost like, gonna text her, be like,
You're not gonna believe this.
yo, like, just so you know, it's not personal, but like, I might have to cheat on you tonight if it comes to that.
Do you know what name I've been saying to my wife a lot? Sabrina Carpenter.
Classic.
But
That's so you, big tits, blonde.
no, she's not.
Sabrina Carpenter?
Yeah, no, she's small chested. She's still small, but it's like a short
Blonde though, right?
Yeah, it's a short blonde thing for me right now, though. I don't know. It's a period of my life that I'm not gonna escape, I guess. But it's just like and she's like you've been saying that name a lot, and I was like, yeah, I don't know. It's just like it's doing it for me. I don't know why. I can't help it.
I don't think I have a go.
Too long, too type. I will tell Joey.
Yeah, of course. I'll get the story. I'll share it with you off air, but
Yes, please.
I don't think I have a go-to porn star right now.
Oh, right now?
Like Layla London was my last like go-to that I would like frequently like search out, because now everything. The problem with porn now is everything. You go to like RedTube or Pornhub or whatever, and the front page is all like stepsister this, stepmom that. Like everything's like step porn.
Oh no, my
I'm like, can we not do step porn?
My last go-to is Jaden James. That was like my favorite.
Jaden James. Yeah. What was the girl that looked like that did the Game of Thrones porn? There, the blonde girl that looked like Khaleesi. What's her name? The actress.
I can't think of her name. I know exactly what you're talking about, but I can't think of her name in real life.
I can't either. But I haven't had a go-to in a while.
Yeah.
Like porn star, I haven't had a go-to.
I don't have time.
I don't either. It's like, dude, like I just need to jerk it real quick. Like, just get me to what I need to do. Like, get me to cut to the chase.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. I'm the kind of guy. I'm like, all right. Too much dialogue. And then I fast forward. I'm like, ooh, they eat an ass. Hold up, I gotta back up.
Do you know when I heard last year Cagney Lynn Carter killed herself, and I was like, wow.
Dude, the amount of porn stars that are offing themselves, this is an epidemic that we're gonna have to deal with this in
by the
this
way,
country.
you have a race starting.
No, I got 11 minutes.
Okay.
Well, listen, if the show runs long, it runs long. I got another one at 12:15. But I gotta hammer. I gotta get my A license back tonight because I really need to race Atlanta this weekend.
Okay.
And I'm dying not racing Atlanta right now in A class because I lost my A class license because of some fucking cucks. But anyway, the problem with is that this whole like culture that we've spurned now, where it's like, yeah, like these women can go out and do whatever they want, and sex work is not, shouldn't be shamed and everything else. Like, no, like it's okay to be shamed. Like you're taking that on as part of the profession. Like you get paid an absurd amount of money, whether it be through OnlyFans or whatever, which I mean most people making money off of this are OnlyFans now.
Right.
You get paid an absurd amount of money. Part of what comes with that is the shame and the backlash, that the baggage that comes with it. Like you can't like, how do I put this? Like you can't do something terrible, get paid for it, and then expect everybody just to forget and not act like it didn't happen once you're retired. It's like being a hitman. It's like, yeah, I killed 500 people over the course of my career, but I got paid really well to do it, and I really don't want to talk about that part about my life anymore. And you're like, yeah, but you murdered 500 fucking people who may or may not have deserved it. Like, it's like you got Bonnie Blue out there taking 1,000 men in one day, in order to make content. And you're like, bitch, like, what? Like, I'm sure your dad is so proud. You know what I mean? Like, ultimately, like, and she's like, oh, my parents support me. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure they do. I'm sure your dad's like going down to the bar and be like, hey, did you see what my daughter did? Like, yeah, it's not like she's what's her name there, the fucking the press secretary, that went to the beach and took all those fucking pictures in a bikini, and everybody's like, damn. You know what I mean? Like, no, this bitch is literally just getting plowed by random college dudes.
Yeah.
And you're like, next. Next. Like, come on, we only have 24 hours to do this. Need to get 1,024 hours. You got 30 seconds each. Finish or don't. I don't care. Like no thanks. But like, if you ever watch Bonnie Blue's scheme, she'll go to resorts,
Does
shit
nothing
like that.
for me.
She'll hit on guys, and like she'll start talking to guys, and she'll be like, "Oh, do you want to fuck me?" And they'll be like, "Yeah." She'll be like, "You can fuck me if you don't mind me filming it for my content." And they're like, and she's like, "I could blur your face or not. You just have to sign an NDA, whatever, blah blah blah." And they're like, and that's what it ends up being. Like she just goes, finds random dudes random horny dudes on spring break, invites them back to her room, and is like, "You can fuck me right now if you agree to let me post it for content so I can make money off it. And you can put your face in it or not." Now, me personally, it would depend on my mood.
Also, it's 20 years ago.
Well, this is obviously I'd have to be single.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying.
But if I'm a young single dude on spring break and some bitch is like, "Hey, come back and let me fuck you, like fuck me and let me film it," I'm gonna probably be like, "All right."
Like that was the goal.
I mean, yeah.
But
wow, how'd you know what I came here for?
he's like,
I thought I was gonna have to do all the work, and I just bump into you, and this is it. Like,
he's
sick.
He's like,
"Can I get a copy?"
He's
I'm
like,
gonna need this to show all my friends.
the guy's like, "I'm gonna be missing a liver in like 8 hours, right?"
Right.
He's just asking the question.
Yeah, like, am I gonna wake up in a bathtub on ice? Because
wakes up. God damn it!
Son of a bitch! They took
promised.
my kidney. Fucking bitch.
But yeah, no. Oh my god, I remember sending that link to my wife and being like, "Did you see this?" Like, she goes, "I don't know if you heard this." And I was like, "This chick banged like 1,021 men and held up
1,070.
or whatever it is." Yeah, and she held up like the Wilt Chamberlain sign.
Yeah.
like that. And my wife was like, "Is this real?" And I was like, "I think so." And she goes, "Like how? Like she's like from like a human point of view, she's like, how?"
At what point does she have to like just start like injecting herself with like some like numbing agent?
And she's like, "Did everybody get like 14 seconds?" And I was like, "Honestly,
I mean,
don't
the
know."
math wasn't really mathing. I don't know how you're gonna have to do the math. You know, like that's another thing. But, anyway.
No, look, we had fucking NBA. We talked about the injuries. It really morphed into down this path.
Right. This actually started with NBA injuries.
Yes,
Achilles,
it did.
yeah. Load management. Wow.
Pun intended.
Pun and non-pun
Actually,
intended.
this is exactly where it's intended to go with load management.
Quick recap: NASCAR bets. Obviously, we didn't do well this. We did well this week. If you bet on, listen, I had Ty Gibbs, Chris Buescher, Slick Willie, and who else? Ross Chastain. Ty Gibbs and Buescher ran, I believe, in the top 10. Buescher was 5th. Had probably the best car, but just strategy didn't work out. The one time we don't pick goddamn Chase Briscoe. I've picked Chase Briscoe several times this year, and he gets his first win with Joe Gibbs Racing at Pocono, beats his teammate, Denny Hamlin. Thank God, because if Denny Hamlin had won this race, I'd have been fucking livid. It would have ruined my whole fucking thing. Tark thinks I'm crazy because I actually like Pocono. I think it's a fun track. I really enjoy it. It's fast. It's hard. It's not exactly the most exciting racing on the face of the planet, but I dig it. But this week, Saturday night, Atlanta, can't fucking wait. I am looking forward to that. I'll post my bets early on Saturday morning for that one, maybe even Friday morning. So I'm going to try to get those done. I might even get those done tonight. I might just say fuck it and say fuck qualifying and practice, and let's just shoot from the hip on this one. But
Yeah.
we'll get there. Other than that, Sean, anything else you want to get in on before we get out of here, before we take our summer break?
Yeah, I think we're going to touch on it really briefly. John Jones retiring before fighting his last fight, kind of fucked up move.
I mean,
And also that he was arrested once again in February, but it was covered up by the police department as a favor to him because he was polite. So that was also came out after his retirement.
Wait a minute. So, hold up. You mean to tell me if you're just polite to the cops,
He still got arrested.
you don't get beaten and shot and tased, and you don't have to put it all over the internet? Like,
To be fair, I think John Jones fucks up 3 officers.
I mean, listen, if I pull over John Jones, I'm going to be like, excuse me, Mr. Jones, are you thinking about resisting arrest? Because if you are, I'm just going to call the cavalry right now. Yeah, probably. But no, That
By the way,
does suck.
I did hear that the February incident was he got into a car accident and he hit a woman that was pregnant, and he fled from the scene.
Ooh.
But again, this is all coming out in the last 48 hours after he retired.
Interesting.
But this was very hush hush. But he was supposed to fight.
What?
Was it Tom Aspinall? Hold on.
Yeah, I think it was Aspinall.
Tom Aspinall, yeah, and that was going to be declared the legitimate title holder.
The finale.
And Tom was he's like, I can't wait for this fight. He goes, I want to have this fight to prove that I am the best in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I can do it. And he goes, I don't feel pain like other fighters. And he goes, I know that sounds stupid, but he goes, I don't. And then you see him fight. You see Patty the Batty fight, and those are two big names you're hearing fighting right now, where those guys get full-on fucking punched in the face, and they don't really let it phase them.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, that will change. Your body will be like, I can't do this anymore. We're gonna die, and just passes out. But so I think Tom Aspinall becoming the official champion is huge news in the UFC world, and John Jones retiring, also huge news.
I mean,
so.
John Jones retiring is huge to me. I mean, that's the end of a legendary career.
The family's all kind of fucked up. Chandler Jones isn't doing well. John Jones isn't doing well.
I mean, some people just don't.
Only
some
Chris
people just
Jones.
don't handle it.
Chris Jones is the only
don't
one doing
handle it well.
okay.
Some people just don't handle it well.
Man,
It sucks, dude. It's. I mean, listen.
father was a pastor.
But you gotta be a crazy son of a bitch to be an NFL player and especially a UFC fighter. Like, it takes a special type of crazy. Like, I think the only people more crazy than that are race car drivers. Because anybody who's willing to get into a fucking, a steel cage and do 200 miles an hour.
Tark, that's actually true too. He was a big Hooker fan. Speaking
Yeah.
of,
Maybe he was off banging street walk. I mean, whatever. I don't know.
probably a bad look.
Speculation.
No, I don't think so. I really do think Tark says in the chat, Jones will destroy Tom after a long bender. That might be true. Like if you give him the what's his name? I'm trying to think of that for the former Patriot, former Brown speedster, ruined his Josh Gordon.
Oh,
you,
yeah.
You let him Josh Gordon pre-fight, like he does some coke, maybe some Hennessy, and you get him out there in the cage.
Bro, it's like Lendale White and his fucking Patron.
Oh my god.
Or Maurice Claret and his Grey Goose. Maurice Claret would be pounding Grey Goose before fucking the the national championship game.
That's wild that some guys play better with
Dude.
their senses lowered.
Not even close. For me, not even close, dude.
No, my god, no.
Like, I can't even fucking... this is already detrimental to my iRacing that I'm about to do.
Imagine Josh Gordon was just like, yo, I can go even faster and harder, but I gotta calm down. I'm gonna do a lot of Hennessy and weed before I go out there. And then here comes the guy to test him after the game. And he's like, I'm just gonna leave. I'm not gonna take this test. I'll take the suspension.
Bye. It's like, see you later, bro.
Poor guy. I don't feel bad for him. That was his mistakes.
Lay off the weed.
Okay, Stephen A.
Yeah.
You do the same.
I know, right?
Fucking
Stephen A.,
weirdo.
biggest joke in fucking sports. Anyway, all right, we'll leave it there. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Joey Fats Radio, Row 1, Seat 1. Again, give us a like and a follow on Row 1, Seat 1 on our Facebook page if you want to keep up with our NASCAR bets. That won't stop.
Absolutely.
We'll be doing some live streams over the next couple weeks, couple iRacing streams. And if anything major breaks, we'll be back. We'll have a couple announcements. So make sure you follow our page so that way you don't miss any of those. Until then, enjoy the month of July. We will see you guys at the end of the month. At least
Football will be back. When
2
we
or 3
come.
weeks, we'll be back with a regular live show on Tuesdays, probably end of July, beginning of August. And, yeah, we will go from there. It'll be
9 Sundays away from games.
the month of the gods will be upon us.
Something like that. It's like 8 or 9 Sundays away.
Dude, listen, because we're going to have 1 week, we're going to have one Tuesday, we're going to do a show, then I'm going to be off because I'm off the last week of July because my brother and sister-in-law will be here. So we might not be back till August.
Okay.
But there will be some.
It depends.
There will be some sparse shows in between. We might do a couple. We might do a special or something in there. Again, we don't know what's going to happen with the NBA free agency trades, all that kind of shit. So we might do an emergency show, whether it be a Monday, a Sunday, whatever. But again, give the Row 1 Seat 1 Facebook page a like and a follow.
Yes, please.
And you won't miss shit. I promise you that. Until then, it's been real. It's been fun. We will see you all. We'll see you all in football season.
Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July. God bless the United States. God bless Uncle Donnie.
Jesus Christ.
God bless the Middle East.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Fuck yeah. God bless B2 Spirit Bombers. Until the next time we talk to you, peace out, everybody. Thank you. Joey Fats Radio Roll 1C1. We'll check y'all in a couple weeks. Peace.
Later.
Right.